All right, let's listen to a couple of beats and see what we're dealing with next. Right, so if you're listening closely to those, you'll notice they all have one thing in common, which is that they have a syncopated hi-hat pattern. So let's look into how to create something like that. I'm going to borrow these notes that we just left with because we're going to start with a double-timed syncopated rhythm. Let's clear off some of these things we're not using. Okay, so what is syncopation? It's basically accenting the beat where you're not expecting it to, and usually that is on the and beat. So if you go 1 and 2 and, a lot of pop music and rock music starts, the accent is on the 1 with the 1, 2, 3, 4. Syncopation is 1 and 2 and 3 and. If you're noticing, I'm leading this towards reggae because reggae is probably the most pronounced example of syncopation in terms of a genre. What we are going to do to create that syncopated rhythm is just take these notes here on the ands. Let me highlight them. And I'm going to make those the accented notes, and then I'm going to take the ones of each of these bars and bring them down to the level of the other velocity notes. So let's give a listen to that and see what it sounds like. So you'll hear that double time coming in, and then the accent is on the and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's basically the intro to West End Girls by the Pet Shop Boys, if you remember that tune. And if you don't, you're probably much younger than me. Good tune, by the way. Everybody check it out. So that's where syncopation comes in. So we're going to build a couple beats around this syncopated rhythm here. First one we're going to do is at 80 beats per minute. So I'm going to drag and click that down there. I'm going to bring the looping feature back to the beginning of the track. Right, and you can hear that syncopated sound. And we can make something simple out of this and make it sound nice. We're just going to add a kick and a snare to it. So if I take that and I drag this down, and I'm going to take a snare sound and I add it over here. I can probably ramp up the velocities of those two notes. And you can hear where that beat's going. And if I take that beat and play it at a higher tempo, it will sound like something very familiar. Channeling our inner 80s right there. Hello, Duran Duran. All right, let's see what else we have in our bag of tricks. Let's go back to one of the things we looked at earlier, which was making the beat swing. But this time we're using a syncopated rhythm. For the sake of comparison, let's swing half of the beat and we can A-B this. So if I select the last two bars of this measure and I swing that out all the way to 100 just to demonstrate it in a very pronounced way, we'll hear that difference. Let's swing the whole thing and as it stands, this is sounding pretty mechanical. So I'm going to do some work with the velocities here. These two notes at the beginning are a little too pronounced, so I want them to be more like grace notes and try something like that. If you compare the sound of the higher velocity notes here and the lowered velocity notes there, you can really hear that syncopated accent jump out of the beat. Makes a big difference. I'm going to continue changing those, and I'm just going to lower them all. Bring these up a bit. You can really start to hear that syncopated accent jump out. We can do a couple other things to this. Let's change our snare sound to a clap. So here's our clap. The thing about claps is if you double it and you just expand it a bit, they sound a little more pronounced. So we can just lower that down a bit. Let's have a listen. And we can do the same thing over here. Could do that more scientifically by getting it right on the beat, but we're trying to keep it loose so we can actually just estimate it until it sounds pretty good. All right, let's hear how our beat's shaping up. Not bad. Let's add a few more things here. Okay, I'm going to add a few other grace notes to this hi-hat here. What I would like to do is just fill in this area a bit with a little bit of color. So I'm going to choose a different hi-hat sound as if the drummer is making some variation. Then I'm going to take that note and ramp up the velocity above the others. And let's hear what this little grace note is going to do here. I think I want that hit to be a little more enunciated at the beginning there. And what I can do is add the same grace note to the kick to make it a little more punchy. A little too pronounced, so I'm going to lower that one down about there. Let's see what else I can do here. I can take this accent and make a hi-hat swell. And as Captain America says, I can do this all day.
And now it's time for a drummer joke.
So one day at school, the drummer says to me, "Man, I can't wait to get to English class." And I said, "English class? You haven't been there all year." And he said, "Yeah, but the teacher said today we'll be studying symbolism." He didn't pass.
So let's move on, and as I mentioned before, if you're working with syncopated beats, you're naturally going to hear some reggae in there. So let's look at a reggae beat, and reggae is generally pretty slow, tempo-wise. Not always, but generally. For the purposes of the demonstration, I've created another tempo zone. If you drop this down here, you can see it in the automations over here. So this is down to 60 beats per minute. Let's bring the loop feature over so it starts at the right place. So to create this beat, I'm going to strip away some of the things we were using in the other beat. And I'm going to change the snare sound for us to that. Yeah, you can already hear the reggae sound of this beat coming out, but we're going to make some variations. I'm going to zoom in here and show you what I'm doing. Let's start by creating a little triplet on the hi-hat here. You can hear this one come out. Okay. So the velocity on those first two notes is quite low, somewhere between 5 and 10. We'll do the same thing over here. And you can hear how that is coming together. Okay, in this beat we can also use an open hi-hat for another effect, which is to land on the kick. So if I take this over here, shorten it to, I'm pretty sure that would be right. And I'm going to add a little grace note before that, but I want the velocity down. So I'm going to need a note to stop it. And I want that to be a higher velocity. Right, so you'll notice what I've done here is, here are my syncopated accents, and I've added these to make a triplet sound on each of them. Okay, but I still have the hi-hat hits to fill the bar. And I keep hearing something over here that I want to fill. Let's take that down to about there. Let's hear what that does. We've created a colorful beat that can create a mood and create a style and fit the rhythm of the song. Now, just for fun, if we have a few minutes, let's look at what happens if you add some color, some effects to these beats. Now, you can't add effects in the Beat Buddy itself unless you bake them into the samples. But if you have some outboard devices, you can really do some interesting things with the Beat Buddy. Let's add some delay to this rhythm, this reggae rhythm we were listening to. Okay. It's a very light delay sound that just keeps accenting the beats in the measure. Or you can do something fun, add some distortion. If you're doing some industrial reggae, add a flanger perhaps. Well, there you go, guys. I hope that helps you out. Keep working away with your MIDI skills, building your beats, creating your songs, playing your music, doing it the way you want to do it. That is the goal. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's something I skipped over. Please put it in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, please. I appreciate all of the feedback I've been getting online. It's been very encouraging. So I bid you all a good evening, and we'll see you for the next video number 10, where we'll be looking at something new. Take care.